Welcome everyone. Today in this very short video we'll be talking about inclusiveness. So what is inclusiveness? We need to understand why it is to be learned and what are the advantages towards it. What are the various methods of understanding inclusiveness? To understand inclusiveness we need to understand diversity. Why? Because if I ask you, can you define darkness? Probably you will not be able to define it until and unless you will explain what is light. So to define darkness, we require the help of light to understand it. Similarly, for to define light, we need to understand what is darkness is all about here. Similarly, for inclusion is everybody incorporated towards each other. What needs to be incorporated? People from diverse backgrounds. So what is diversity? Is very important. Diverse means being composed of texting different elements or qualities. People are coming from different background. People are diverse in absolutely as many particular facets as they are possible, be it race, be it ethnicity, be it social, be it economical status, the age, the religion, the gender, the ability, the education, you name it, and people are coming from different background. No two people are similar. Look at us and diversity. Is it all around us? Yes, definitely. Even in our family, no two people are similar. They are not of similar height, similar weight, similar size, in fact similar taste also. Diversity is all around it. It is at your home, it is at your school, it is at your work, it is at your every place that you be. It is best to treat people who are different than you with tolerance, with acceptance. Tolerance is treating everyone fairly and equally, as the case might be. For your information, diversity, if you can shrink, just I'm giving the participants, the audience of this video, just an idea what exactly would be the earth if there were only 100 people in a village, precisely 100, but maintain the existing demographic ratio that the group would look into it, there would be approximately 57 Asians, 8 Africans, 30 whites, 30 Christian, 50 malnourished, and 1 college graduate. This is what the difference is all about it. All other way around is 14 Western Hemisphere, Northern and Southern American, 70 non-white, 17 non-Christian, 70 unable to read, 80 living in substandard housing, and 50% of the world health is in the hands of only 6 people, and every one of them is concentrated in US, United States of America. Only 6 people. Remember, 50% of the world health. Now, this is diversity. Don't you think so? This is astounding. This is absolutely mammoth in nature. That is what diversity is all about. If there were only 100 females and males, but maintain as of today's demographic rate, there would have been 57 Asians, 8 Africans, 30 whites, 30 Christian, 30, 50 malnourished, and 1 college graduate. Look. So what is discrimination? Discrimination is acting towards or treating an individual or a groups in a different manner because they are different. That is what this discrimination is all about. It. Do not treat people who coming from different background, different individual, different education differently. Treat everyone equitably. Treat everyone equally. What you would have treated as someone as you are all about it. Now, what happens is in the form of differently discrimination. We treat them differently. When I say differently or when I say discrimination, it is always in the negative connotation. We don't treat anybody fairly. We don't treat anybody appropriately or positively or with very leniency. We treat everyone negatively. It is always a neutral word that I have said is different, but essentially it becomes negative. Discrimination is an acting towards or treating individual or groups in a different manner because they are simply different. So, what leads to this discrimination? One, stereotyping. It's an idea, the statement that is in our head, probably through our upbringing, probably through our education, probably through our outlook. It's a stereotype about a particular clan, group, community of people from a background. Stereotyping. If I have this stereotyping in my mind, any Tom, Dick, and Harry, any person that I meet from similar community, similar background, we will always assign those prejudices on that person without knowing the person in the first hand. Then come the prejudices, the negative attitude towards the people. Essentially, whatever preformed notion that I have, I don't have much of a good notion for most of the communities, but only much of a negative attitudes for most of the community. And it is akin to human nature. Now, this is what discrimination is all about it. The third one would be racism, the belief that one particular race or ethnic group is way superior than the other one, or one particular race is way inferior than the rest of the groups. Now, this is what we are talking about it. So, yes, discrimination has been often led by stereotyping, prejudicing, and racism per se, as the case might be. The law. United States has enacted several laws that makes it unlawful for an employer to discriminate against employees. We talk about Civil Rights Acts, Age Discrimination Act in Employment ADEA, and American with Disabilities Act ADA. Now, what are we looking out here? We are looking for equitable justice. We are looking for appropriate behaviors. We are looking for non-discriminatory behavior, come what may. It might be Civil Rights Act, which says equitable pay for every one of them, equitable pay for irrespective of the genders. Age Discrimination Act, you cannot treat a people differently because of the age, specifically whoever have attained the age of 40 and above. American Disability Acts, people with special abilities or disabilities, if I may say so, should be treated somewhat leniently, ensuring that they are not being ignored more often than not and being given an equal chances of coming back to the mainstream. The law, because of this law, the employer must base decisions such as hiring, such as firing, such as job assignment, etc., solely on the employee's ability to do the job. Employer must make accommodation changes for employees and customers with disabilities. Employers who discriminate are subject to fines and lawsuit, as the case might be. This is what we are looking forward to. Equal opportunity employer, an employer who agrees not to discriminate against an employee or a job applicant based on the race, background, color of the skin, gender, religion, so on and so forth. So it is an equitable position that has been offered. Everybody has got a fair chances to prove his or her mettle, prove his or her knowledge, and probably further his or her career in the organization. The employer ensure that there is no sort of discrimination happening on any applicant on any sort of grounds. Common type of discrimination are age discrimination. Essentially, people or employers views younger employees favorably. Why? Because they might be more knowledgeable. Why? Because they might be more uh, transferable, or should I say, they might be more mobile. Why? Because they might not have much issues as far as pays are concerned compared to a person or employee who's beyond the age of 40. Why? Because he is looking for a big fat pay, as he or she might have a family or responsibility to look after. Why he or she is not able to very mobile? Because then there is certain other family issues that needs to be looked into it. So these are things that needs to be taken into consideration. So common type of discrimination is age discrimination, racial and ethnic discrimination, again because of the prejudices, because of the racism factor that creeps in, the sex, the gender discrimination. Probably people are not paying fair wages to the women gender compared to the male gender. Then we have the religious discrimination between Christianity and non-Christians, or any other religion, from religion A to religion B. Discrimination due to disability, as the case might be, as to look into it. If somebody has a poor vision as a disability, vision might be a disability. Somebody who probably is stammering down when it comes to vocabulary, but is very proficient when communicating via written communication. So that is needs to be understood, and probably discrimination should not be allowed to creep in. But these are the common types of discrimination that comes around it. One major discrimination that comes around is age. People who have crossed the age of 40, 50, 60, 70 are considered not very productive. This is completely biased, and this is completely a myth altogether. In fact, there are many things that goes with an age. Probably a person who is aged will not be skipping jobs, will be more loyal to the company. A person who has aged will not make uh, make issue as far as late comings, absenteeism, or less number of works are to be done. He or she is going to bill the exact amount of work he or she is going to put into the company. So there are certain things that goes well for the aged people, but there are discrimination against the aged. Now this needs to be avoided. Racial and ethnic discrimination is based on the ethnicity or the person that belongs to a particular race. Ethnicity means belonging to a group of people according to a common racial national, tribal, religious, linguistic, cultural origin or background. You look at it, this might be something of photographs of an Indian family that we are talking around here. Oh, but then there's the African people. They have a certain different sense of dress. Probably that's the way they carry around it. Uh, they might have different kinds of food that they are fond of, but these are racial or ethnic discrimination. Probably that is what has been done. Then we have the gender discrimination or sex discrimination based on the person's gender. Non-traditional occupations, an occupation in which women and men comprises less than 25% of the workforces in the non-traditional workforce. Let's say probably the armed forces, if you are looking into it, many of the government, federal government do not allow women to be a part of the infantry model. Why? This is pure case of say, sense of discrimination. But probably many of the countries are now allowing infantry forces to be picking up the job be picked up by the ladies per se. So this needs to be understood. There weren't much of a male nurses earlier times. Probably this discrimination has been removed altogether. uh, Religious discrimination. Employers may be discriminated based on the person religion. A person who is following a Jew as a religion, a person who is following Islam as a religion, a person who is following Christianity as a religion. People might have prejudices against certain religions altogether, and it shows in the workspace. Employer may need to make accommodation based on the religious differences then and there. That is very understanding. Disability, the last kind of discrimination which needs to be avoided, is based on the person who has disability. Loss of vision, poor vision, loss of movement, probably stammer, probably there are certain autistic in nature people, are some with autistic in nature, people with Down syndrome. A disability is a long lasting impairment that limits a major life activity. This is what I've just shown, cited as for the examples are concerned, can include mental and physical or both of them. To accommodate disabled employees, employer must restructure jobs, alter equipment, or modify workstation. What is alter equipment, modify workstation? Probably for a disabled person, the similar standard workstation might not be very conducive. Similarly, for the restrooms, it has to be specially designed. Similarly, if the office is having a different floors, the free flow of movement for the disabled person should be ensured, and it should be free flow in truest of term. He or she can move without the help of any other person. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video till the end.